It's all about what you want to do. Because I truly love art. Now, when I was in art school, when I was in school, high school, art class, I had a my favorite teacher, art teacher was this woman named Mrs. Geekus, and she was a the wife of a senator, but I didn't know that at the time. Had no idea. But I always used to wonder. I'm like, why is this woman wearing? She kind of reminded me of my mom, like all dressed up, go to work, But she was an art teacher, this woman, and I was like, my art teacher, and like she's always dressed up. I was like, man, she's always wearing nice clothes and stuff. And then I said to myself, why is that? I was like, she's an art teacher. You get your clothes dirty, and I just didn't realize till years later. Someone the name came up. The name came up, and they said something about Senator Geek is this and Senator Geek. I said that name sounds familiar. I said that name sounds familiar. And lo and behold, I had to correct that. It was. I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. I had an art teacher named Mrs. Geekus. I said, is that her husband? I was like, that might have been her husband. She was married to a senator. She was married to a senator. My art teacher, my middle school art teacher. I was like, wow, huh? The whole time I was talking to a senator's wife. Um, as a student, not knowing that this woman, that this woman was um, married. She was married to a senator, but she was an art teacher. But it explains why she was wearing them nice clothes. But she would wear this jacket over her nice clothes, this little shawl like jacket, so it wouldn't get irritated. I guess just in case she had to go to a meeting or some type of function with her husband. But yeah, I I didn't know that at the time when as a kid, like sixth grade. You don't take notice of that. You don't know. You don't have the knowledge. You just don't know. So anyway, I'm ramping off talking about something this, but I'm talking about my art class because I worked on the newspaper. I used to do I had a comic strip that I had created, and I actually still would love to. I'm taking forever on this eye. I'm sorry, you guys. Taking forever on this eye. It's because I am trying to manage going by what I know of how an eye should look like. But Superman's eye. Okay, I think I got it this time. And yeah, got it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go down here, here. Hmm. Um, use some strokes here. The way I do mine is it's totally different. But that's why I love the mechanical pencil. Because it gives you that fine line stuff which makes it look cool, what they call dynamic. And I'm gonna put something here since Superman has those real defined cheeks. Um, but yeah, um, it's crazy when you think about things like that in your past, and you're like, man, I never even knew that. But it's all good though. But yeah, I worked the newspaper. I'm not gonna give him anything there. make some strokes there. Um, I worked in newspaper when I was in high school, and I did that for almost 3 years. I think from sixth grade to eighth grade. Actually, I believe I did. And I'm trying to speed up a little bit more here. Um, and it's let's do it this way from here to there. Okay, we'll do it like that. Now here, what I want to do, because we got to get depth, DEPTH, and perspective. If you weren't a fan of If you weren't a fan of, I'm not going to use this either because I usually use sketch pen, mechanical for sketching, but I'm going to go with this. Um, yeah. Come here. Nah, I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to do it like that. I don't think I want to do it that way. Yeah. And then bring it up like that. Nah. Anyway, um, yeah, I worked for my newspaper pretty much maybe 2 or 3. I think it was 3 years, but it could have been just 2. Can't remember if I did it in if I actually did any newspaper work when I was in sixth grade, which was many moons ago, folks. Many moons ago. Yep. Um, I think I got it. Um, a little off here. Yeah, a little more. Okay. Somewhere around there. My eyes sometimes can fool me, and that's why I measure sometimes. I keep measuring because the eyes can fool you when it comes to depth perception. And when they do that, it can be very tricky. Now, what I want to do here, I'm going to leave that there. I think I'm going to leave it here. I can't see the whole hand, so I'm not going to draw the whole hand. I'm going to use it block it out. I'm going to block it. Okay, I'm going to block it. Yeah. These are just shadow markings I'm making. Now see it, sketch it out first. If I can adjust it if I need to, if I don't like the way it looks. And that's what I mean by sketching. You sketching is sometimes like a rough sketch, even as you draw, instead of just drawing hard lines. And then once you draw a hard line, you gotta erase it. If you draw a sketch which is light, you can change it, erase it, and it won't show up on your paper as much, if not at all. So that's why it's important to kind of just get an idea of okay, I see. And hands. Let me talk about hands for a minute. Hands. Can be difficult if you're not familiar with drawing them a lot. They can really cause problems for people, and really, they can cause problems. And if they do, it means you maybe need to practice a little more. These are just for tips for people who don't draw a lot or who are just beginning. If you're just beginning and you want to get your skills up, today more artists are going to be more skillful at a younger age than somebody like myself was, because y'all have the internet now. Y'all have YouTube. We didn't have that. I didn't grow up with YouTube. YouTube is a whole monster of its own. It's a whole monster of its own kind. Now I'm not going to draw this whole hand. Like I said, it is just for the video right now. I want to probably maybe go into some type of detail, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here's the last and then his fist here. And I'm gonna come back and do some more details on this fist later. I'm just leaving it right there for now. In fact, let me do this. If you can see, but go ahead and do some lines. Okay. And even right in here, you want to go ahead and make it dark right there, so you can't really see anything in that area. The beauty of animation or cartoons or comics is that you can darken in, and it's okay to darken in. You're not trying to make it look real, but not as realistic, if that makes sense. I don't know. Some people may not think that makes sense. Small dip there, small dip there. You gotta to understand to draw the body. You have to have drawn it a lot of times, and it helps to study it. It helps to study the body. It helps to study the body. Trust me, it helps. One thing I'm still learning is that there's this factor that, and I'm gonna clean this up as soon as I'm done. I'm gonna clean this up. So, okay, I'll change pencils again. I think I'll make it just slightly longer. come down here. Okay, because his elbow is going to be down here. Now I'm going to come in here and right here, here, and here, and then his chest. Okay. And here, did I make that right? Yeah. Well, I might change it just a little bit here. Okay, that's about right. Yeah. And then, like I said, I'm not a big talker. A lot of times when I'm drawing, I don't even say a word. So for me to be talking to you guys, whoever's listening to this video, when you click onto it, I'm sorry I had that long intro. I'm sorry I had that long intro. It's been it hasn't really been. It's been not too bad of a day. Not too bad of a day. But like I said, for all you people that's in quarantine, anybody that literally is in quarantine, this would be a good time to brush up on your skills. Brush up on your drawing skills. I always try to tell people, some people don't believe that a person can do freehand until you show them. Like, this is why I'm making this video. I don't cut my videos. All the videos that you've seen, even though they sped up, it's this. It's freehand. No copying. I don't have nothing underneath here. See, there's nothing here. See that? And I've done it in my sped up videos to show that I don't copy. I don't trace. I should say that. I don't trace. And I try to show people that I don't trace. This is something that it was innately, if you want to call it innately, but you can still build on that innateness. It's like somebody who knows how to play a guitar by ear. Like Jimi Hendrix. Anybody who understands who Jimi Hendrix was. Jimi Hendrix, famous guitar player, one of the godfather, I would say, of classical modern rock and roll, or not rock and roll, rock, blues rock, whatever. He played a Stratocaster guitar, but he carried that guitar around with him everywhere he went. I have the book on him. This is what it says. But he didn't have a guitar. I forget. I can't remember exactly how he got his guitar. But anyway, he would carry that bad boy like a artist would, their pad or sketch pad, and just draw things to practice. Okay. I have to do something real quick. Oh, I have to do something real quick. I'm just looking at something real quick here that's happening. I'm gonna have to change something. All right, here we go. Okay. Yeah. That's what was happening. I had to change my plug. Something was happening with the power. So what I'm gonna do is, what do I got plugged in there then? I got plugged in there. What's this? Ah, I see. Okay. Well, anyway, should have enough battery in here for now to carry me through this process. But Jimmy would carry his, before I got sidetracked by that. Let me make sure that's good too. It's charging. Okay. Jimi Hendrix would carry his, and I'm relating this to Art because he would practice his guitar everywhere he went. Everywhere he went. Now, eventually, so he wasn't like just able to play guitar. I think he learned by just banging on it, and eventually he banged on it so much. I don't know, but that's my theory. That he banged on it so much that eventually his ears started to, innately, he was like able to just hear the notes, and he played like that because he didn't go to school. He didn't go to art school or music school or whatever school to learn how to play guitar. And he was so good at it because his ears got so good. That's why he used to. I think they said he loved sound. So it kind of consumed him to see if he could. And as I talk, I'm going to continue to draw, but I got sidetracked. But it consumed him so much, and that's why he was so good at it. I mean, you can't teach that. Somebody that does something like that, who does it all the time, every day, every single day. I mean, like, he would not go anywhere without that guitar. That's what the book said. I read the story on him. He said he wouldn't go anywhere without that book. I mean, without the book, without that guitar. So what I'm saying is, you have to practice innately. Most artists you see that draw really fast, or they've done it for such a long time. But like I said, I can't explain how I draw. I just can show you. I can show you. I'm showing you how I do my process, and you can pick up on things. Like, everybody can learn better. Like, if he had learned how to read music, it would have even enhanced his ability he already had. Like, I think Prince, I don't know if anybody knows who Prince was, but Prince was the same way. He could hear the music in his ear. It was innately, he was already given that from birth almost. So innately he could just do it. It's hard to explain, but it was there. It's just like somebody who's gifted, somebody who's a gifted genius as far as like educational wise. Like, they can do math, they can do science, they understand, things at a very early age, and they build upon that. Now, when they're kids, they're genius. They pick up on it quickly. Sorry, I was a psychology major, so I'm talking about this now as I draw. But as a psychology major, I understand that someone like that, like a genius, they wouldn't know how to do that if they didn't go to if they wouldn't pick up on their learning that quickly if they didn't have someone to teach them. Now, their learning comes easy because they're gifted in their head. They have a gift of understanding. It's called, there's a couple of thoughts that we develop as we get older. But it eludes me at the moment. Okay, I learned this stuff, but there are these stages of thought, and a lot of times young people who are like that can really grasp higher learning, that maybe you thought, wow, like somebody who's in a higher grade understands already, and they learn it at such a young age how to do like calculus or how to do, and they grasp it because the relative thinking that they have already, the theoretical thinking that they have already is there. It's already kind of there, developed already, or more advanced than the normal child person like you and I. We eventually get there, but we don't get there as quickly as like someone who's already gifted in that. that area. Same with drawing. People can draw, but they have, maybe someone like myself who already knew how to draw. I pick it up quicker because I'm a little more advanced in it as when I was younger. Okay, that's the whole theory behind why some. But drawing, anybody can do it. It just takes time. Some people are better at it because they were able to pick up on it earlier, or they learn more. It's all about learning and practice. And then somebody who practices all the time is going to be better than a gifted one somebody who already knew, you know, who already knew how to draw. But yet now they've gotten surpassed them because they got the knowledge, and they put in the work. You got to put the work in. You have to put the work in. There is no substitute for whether, even if you're gifted, you got to put the work in, because someone who outworks you, somebody who outworks you, they're gonna be better because they're literally in the grind. I'm gonna take example one more person, for example, Jordan, Michael Jordan. He was so great at basketball. He was so good at basketball. You know why? It wasn't because he was a better basketball player than most of them guys that go to the NBA. He eventually became better because he actually had to go through college. He played college ball. Okay. But what Michael Jordan did was, because he actually got kicked off the high school basketball team too. But, his mentality was that he was going to work at it as hard as he can because he really wanted to do that. And I had to take my hats off to him because I didn't have that. I got kicked off the basketball team. And I just like, I ain't, there was nothing else I was like done. I wanted to make it the first time I got on there. I didn't make it. No, I didn't make the basketball team. I didn't make the basketball team when I was in middle school. But then again, I didn't play it either. And at the time, I didn't see that. I didn't see it because I didn't play it. It's like, dude, I didn't think about that. Like, and I got all in my feelings about it because I was like, well, because I wasn't like a great shooter, but I felt like I could learn. But the coaches weren't looking at that. The coaches were looking at, can you dribble that ball now? My point is, Michael Jordan worked hard at his craft to become great. He might have ignited whatever else that was in him to be who he became, because he just worked extremely hard at it. In fact, I think saw something on an interview about him where they say he was always the first, and he was always the first player. He was always the first player, and he was always the last player to enter the court, the practice court, on the court in the mornings. He was the first one there, and he was the last one to leave. Amazing, right? I mean, he put in the work. But if somebody didn't know that, they would just think that, man, this guy was just old. But they said he actually really did put the work in. And that's impressive. It's impressive because it shows that he really, if you want something, you go after it. You have to work hard at it. So if you're not willing to work hard at it, then why should you be willing to be granted the all that comes with it, once you achieve whatever it is that you want? I mean, that is the philosophy, right? Behind something like that. So I know that is true because I know I stopped drawing for a lot of years, and I knew I could do certain things in my head because I remember. And it wasn't until I started picking the pencil back up and actually drawing again and putting the work down, putting the pencil work in, that I realized, wow, and I realized that how true it is now, that you really have to be obsessed with it. You really have to be dedicated to it.